What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to something a bit different. Firstly, I've been feeling pretty mad in the last few videos, for better or worse, and so today I thought I'd take a little break from Paragon. I do love the game, but maybe the stress of all that has happened over the last few weeks just caught up to me. I recently decided to get back into competitive and tried out with a new team. This was our first time playing together, so it wasn't really right that I recorded our comms, but if things go well in the future, then I probably will, like I did with Ignite. We played 3 games against the wonderful Team Calamari. The first game we lost pretty bad, and that was down to a weak draft, lack of team communication, and no one really knowing what we were meant to be doing. But as with all first games with a new team, that was kind of to be expected. But take nothing away from Team Calamari, I think they played brilliantly in that game. The second and third games were much better, and so in this video we'll analyze the second game, and not just from my point of view, from everyone's point of view. So if you main something other than offlane, you will get some value out of this video, and if it receives enough positive feedback, I'll do game 3 as well. I'd also like to point out that Feng Mao video you saw yesterday is a completely different playstyle. In competitive games I'm thinking 5 to 6 steps ahead of what I want, whereas in pub games I usually just can't while talking to you guys on video, and so you'll notice a lot of different things happening. Anyways, let's get into it. Okay, so something I never did in my previous competitive videos was talk about the draft, so let's just go over the draft. In the second game, Team Calamari got first pick, first ban. So how the draft works is they ban one hero, we ban one hero, they pick one hero, we get to pick 2 heroes, they pick 2, and then so on and so forth until the end. So I believe the first ban was Zinx. I know Zinx and Belaka were banned, so one of those two was banned by Team Calamari and we banned the other one, because otherwise you probably would have seen it Belaka for sure. I know in the third game Zinx wasn't banned, but in the second game I believe Zinx was definitely banned. Okay, so next time I will probably write down the draft so that, this is easier. Anyways, I believe the Team Calamari first picked Aurora. Why did they first pick Aurora? Well, in the first game, the Aurora played really well. It allowed them to basically snowball the game because of that Aurora ultimate. Now, would I have picked Aurora first pick? Probably not. When you've got such strong fighters like Kwang and Feng Mao, basically being able to carry a game once they hit their power spikes, do you want to pick an Aurora when most likely our team is never going to draft an Aurora because our support plays Narbash, plays Muriel. So the thing is that I think that comes down to researching your opponent and knowing the people you're playing against. When you play at a high enough level, you'll start to see the same people over and over again. And once you do, you start to recognize, okay, this person is playing X, Y, and Z. So I can pick something that, takes away from them. Whereas if this person never plays Aurora, then you're not really taking away from our team and you're playing to your strengths, which is fine. But do you really need to draft Aurora as your first pick? That's all I'm saying. Like, it's a fine pick, but do you really need Aurora as your first pick? So then what did we do? We drafted Feng Mao and Kwang. Leaving those two on the table is incredibly good for us because you guys know I play a lot of Feng Mao, I play a lot of Kwang. These are like my favorite heroes at the moment, and they were before they became insanely good. You guys saw me play a lot of them in 41 when I was playing competitive. So the fact that they left Feng Mao and Kwang open for us was great. We threw Kwang in the jungle and Feng Mao in the offlane. And the good thing about this is that you never really know where you can put Feng Mao and Kwang because they both can jungle really well and they both can go offlane. So it's kind of like, okay, the enemy team's not sure where they're going, and that's why also Belek is a great pick just in draft. It's because you don't really know where the Belek is going for certain. She could go off lane, she could go mid lane, she could go in the safe lane as a support. So when you're drafting, you're like, okay, well, they picked a Beleka, but we don't know where that Beleka is going. So now there's pressure on us to draft heroes that we are good at in these roles, maybe a mid lane or maybe an off lane, because we don't know what they're going to take next. Whereas when a Beleka is banned and you see like a Gadget, you kind of know Gadget's going mid, right? So let's move on to the next heroes. They drafted a Gideon and Rampage. Now at this point, it's the same draft as their first game. So I think they're trying to replicate that success they had. The Gideon played really well. Their Rampage played really well. So I can't fault them for picking those heroes. Would I have picked Rampage and Gideon that high? I probably wouldn't have drafted Rampage, honestly. Once you see the jungler and offlaner drafted, and they know Feng Mao and Kwang are going either jungle or offlane, there's no other roles they're playing. Do you need to pick your Rampage that high up? Not really. But then I'm looking at our draft and I'm like, we got Narbash, Gadget, Drongo. Like, they've already drafted their mid laner. All they need to draft now is an offlaner, which is doesn't really matter because we've already picked Feng Mao and Kwang. And they need to draft a carry because, well, but their carry can play either Twin Blast, Murdoch, Drongo. There's quite a lot of carry heroes, and I don't think carries have that big of an impact from what I've seen, so that it makes a big difference. So anyways, they drafted Gideon and Rampage. Then we drafted Gadget and Narbash, I believe, because we could draft the Narbash last because we knew the Aurora was going support. Whereas Narbash for me is a really, really good pick. So in other games, I would probably draft him way higher. But because Aurora was their first pick, we just left the Narbash. Like, we can take Narbash later. And also, Bram, who plays our carry, he's comfortable on multiple heroes. So we can just draft our carry last. So eventually, we just went Narbash, Gadget, and they picked their Crunch and Twin Blast. And then we got Drongo. So that was the draft. I can't remember if that was the exact order, but that was roughly how it went. Okay, so the main focus is obviously going to be on me, but we're going to be looking at everyone, trying to cover them as much as possible. This is my first time doing a video like this, so any feedback is appreciated. Okay, so one thing I noticed in the first game that Team Calamari like to do, they like to make an early engage. And why is an early engage possible in this current state? Well, the jungle spawns a lot later, so if you can get a good pick within the first 10 seconds of the minions spawning in lane, then, you know, you can get a slight advantage and then go into your jungle. Now, if on the flip side though, however, you're going to see this here, I actually want to talk about this. So, why can this be good? Well, you get an early pick, you know, the lane, look at the lane minions. The lane minions have already spawned. In the jungle, you can see the timer, you've got quite a bit of time. Now, if you get a pick here, it's great. The problem is if you don't get that pick and you end up spending more time than was necessary, you leave your jungle open to just, you leave your jungler up to, like, he's stuck now. He's going to be behind our jungler. He's clearing slower. He's not going to be at river buff. His ganks are affected and all his timings are messed up if this goes wrong. Now, I'm not saying it's a bad strategy, and I'm not saying it's a good. There's pros and cons on both sides. But if you're going to execute a strategy like this, you have to be certain that you are most likely going to get a kill. And you have to think about when it goes wrong, what is my fallback plan? What am I doing so that I minimize the time I've lost, right? So it's all well and good saying, okay, we're going to gank, and if it goes right, we're going to go do X, Y, Z. But what's your plan when it goes wrong? And I'm not saying they didn't have a plan or they did have a plan. I'm just saying that when you want to do something like this, always make sure you're thinking about, what am I doing after I've got the kill? And what am I doing if I don't get the kill? How much time am I investing in chasing this kill before I deem it not worthy, right? So you're going to see Aurora and Rampage gank middle lane. But we're also going to talk about what I do once I see this happen. Okay, so our Gadget is aware because we told Gadget, look, they're probably going to gank you because they did it in the first game to me. They didn't manage to get the pick there either because I heard the Rampage pick the rock. Now, that's a key thing. Rampage rock is pretty loud. So here we go. She already heard the Rampage rock. She lands the rock, but you're tower diving at level 1. It's not going to go well. If that Gadget Q had landed, Rampage was dead. Okay, so you saw. Now, they're backing up. It's fine. They didn't invest that much time. Yes, the jungler spawned. Laz is only on his first camp, so Rampage isn't going to be that far behind. Now, he's pretty low, so he might have to back. And what we should have done is we should have recognized, okay, this guy is on 186 health. We knew he was roughly on 100, 200 health. We should be invading their jungle. Now, that's our mistake, so that's something we need to think about. Okay, so what happens when they gank? Okay, so usually I'm just chilling in lane. Okay, I'm taunting Sam, but you know, it's fine. Okay, so now I'm watching. I'm always looking at the minimap. I'm not farming, so my eyes are on the minimap. Now I see them going on mid, so I instantly engage on Sam. Level 1, I'm always gonna win that fight. Getting some poke off on Sam is perfectly fine. Now, this is what you want to be doing when you're level 3, 4, 5. Whenever you get a chance to be 1v1 with the carry and they're close enough, you want to engage. I engage on Sam here, poke her a bit. You never know. She might misstep. I could get her to half health. I could force her back. You never know. And I'm always going to be safe because I'm a fighter. Fighters always win that trade. So that's something as an offlaner, you want to look for those kind of engagements, those trades when they're alone, because it's a lot easier. There'll be points in the game where I can 1v2, but at the start of the game, 1v1 is perfectly fine for you. Now I'm just sitting here soaking up XP. Everyone is just doing normal things that happen in normal games. Our support's warding, our junglers cleaning the jungle, and I'm just focusing on getting XP. I'm not too worried about farm. My build basically relies on me getting 3 vitality, and after that I can focus on getting good farm. 3 vitality, pretty easy to obtain. Also, one thing I would mention is that I've seen a lot of people when they get low in the off lane, they just don't like to back. It's fine to back in the off lane if you get low. The main thing is that you don't die. Tower goes, okay, it happens. It's tier 1, they often go. So everyone's just clearing the jungle, focusing mid lane, getting farm. Our duo's doing pretty good applying pressure, soaking up XP. This is all we want. We just want to be leveling, getting level 2. Getting to our power spike at level 5. Having our ultimate, pretty good. Having a level 2 shield. I also like getting level 2 shield. Just because Sam pokes me quite a bit, you'll notice. So, you know, these grenades as well. I like to have that shield. The extra, I think it's 75. It's nice. That's like 1 or 2 autos, especially in the early game. So they're trying to zone me here, which is perfectly fine. The one thing I would say is that I noticed Sam miss a farm there. I think she missed a farm. She might have missed a farm. I don't know. She might not have. But in general, try not to... If you're going to poke, just make sure you're watching the wave. I think Sam didn't miss a farm there. She's usually pretty good with farming from what I saw. But in general, if you are going to poke the offlaner, just something you should be aware of is keep an eye. Track your minions. Like, how low are they? Okay, this minion isn't low. I can poke him a bit. And also be prepared for the fact that if you're watching your wave and then you're poking me, the minions are going to move. And the pathing in this game is kind of like weird. So... you're not guaranteed to get that last hit. So think about it. Are you confident enough to hit the wave while it's moving weirdly to get those last hits? Because at this level, every farm counts. Every single last hit matters. So you kind of want to make sure that you're getting all the farm. So that's why I'm just trying to focus my last hits here. Again, like I said, my power spike is 3000. Sam's gone back here. Now, Sam likes to play... I don't know if it's her... I think it might be her team, but they like to play this greedy profiteer start. As soon as I see the enemy carry disappear, I know they're going to pick up one of 2 things. They're going to pick up Nitro Boost, or they're going to pick up Profiteer. This early in the game, there's no way they're getting Guard Piercer, unless I've died like 20 million times. So she picks up Profiteer. Now, instantly, I already know she picked up Profiteer. As soon as I see her in lane, I've already checked, and I'm like, okay, she has Profiteer. So, I'm telling my team, we need to either 3-man or 4-man rotate because we need to invest into killing her Profiteer. I'm just going to pause it here. Actually, I can let it run because nothing really happens, I don't think. Profiteer is only valuable after you've got 55 last hits with the card. It costs 2,100 gold. So after 55 last hits, you're getting value from this card. So I really need to be applying pressure to Sam, or my team need to apply pressure elsewhere on the map so that Aurora rotates. I back off here because I want to recall. I believe I have 3,000 gold, so I'm going to go pick up my Spriken. This gives me a huge power spike, and also, the reason I'm back in here is I'm like, Laz, John, we want to go in on Twin Blast. We need to kill her so that she doesn't get ahead, because yes, carries don't have that much of an impact, but if you're ahead and you're doing damage. So I pick up my Spriken. They make a good rotate to try and catch Laz out while he's trying to rotate for the river buff. That's something they did pretty well. They're shutting down these rotations. But now I'm like, okay, I saw Aurora go mid. She's either going to back, she's not going to be with a carry. And I'm going to hit level 5 soon. So this is my chance to 1v1 Sam. And, I feel like she's probably going to, play a bit risky. So we go in here. We get a good bit of damage. So now Sam has to think, okay, I've got Profiteer. I'm half health. So do I go back or do I stay? And I've given her something to think about. Now, regardless of whether you get the kill or not, I've given her something to think about. She steps forward. We're just going to land a few autos and we get the kill. And she's lost Profiteer. That's 2,100 gold she's lost. Now, the thing is, here is Sam necessarily didn't do anything wrong. Although she did die, yes. She didn't do anything terribly wrong, right? She has Profiteer. She got down to half health and she made the decision. She was like, okay, my support is roaming over and I think it's safe enough for me to farm. He doesn't have that much mana. He doesn't have mana for ult if he uses his Q and E. So, I don't necessarily think Sam did something wrong here, but if I have Profiteer, I'm probably going back on half health. It's just the way I've chosen to set that play up. I've chosen Profiteer. I've invested in this card. So if I have to go back and miss out on a wave, so be it. But it's better than losing 2,100 gold, which happened here. And okay, it happens. You're going to die sometimes with Profiteer. The enemy team's going to invest a lot. In the third game, Sam lived for a very long time with Profiteer. And eventually, we 3 or 4 man rotated to kill her. And that's usually how you deal with it. You're not always going to be able to get those 1v1 trades. But you saw, I didn't chase the kill first time. I didn't dive her on the tower in the first kill. All I did was get her to half health and say, Ace, look, you get her to half health, you're setting yourself up for a kill if she stays. And that's it. And she probably didn't think that I had enough power to kill her. I have a lot of sustain. I could have towered over it, but you gotta just be thinking of, don't think about the immediate, what's happening in the current situation, what's happening in the present, right? Think about 2, 3, 4 steps ahead. Plan everything so you're thinking 2, 3, 4 steps ahead. That's how I like to think when I'm offlaning. It's like playing chess, right? You're in it for the long game. You're not trying to win in 1 or 2 moves. So anyways, we just back here. I noticed that they like to siege mid a lot. So Laz helps out our mid laner quite a bit. Because they apply a lot of pressure in mid. And when you're playing with Profiteer, you probably don't want to apply this much pressure. You want your jungler kind of to be hovering around here. So that if I do engage on Twin Blast, she's pretty safe. But if your jungler's in mid, I'm confident enough in Feng Mao and Kwang that I could 2v1, and you'll see later on in this game what happens when I 2v1. In fact, I 3v1. So just things to think about if you are going for a greedy start. And I'm not trying to say I'm an amazing player. I'm average at best. But the way fighters are in this game, you can't be doing things like this. I'd also like to point out that if you are going to siege mid lane tower and you are planning to take it, it would be nice to see your rampage at level 5 just before this thing happens. Because if things go sideways, then you can always just jump out and escape. And I know he gets out here, but just something for you guys to consider. If you're close to level 5, let's have a look how far he is. Okay, he's nowhere near level 5, so maybe that's fine. But in general, if you're close to level 5, before you go mid lane, just grab level 5. Just clear your jungle. Also, Laz has his green buff and the Rampage doesn't, so taking that fight is a pretty it's pretty bad for Team Calamari in my opinion. Here I'm just cleaning some offlane jungle. I think I cleaned like 1 or 2 camps just to get it down to like stop being a 5-stack, so that when Laz does clear it, it's like just restack. I don't really like taking too much tower damage personally, so I always just give it up. Now they got a rampage here again, and this is something I mentioned to them, was like, if you're going to dive me, now firstly, when you dive someone, I can't bring up the scoreboard because of a replay bug, but before I gank anyone, you'll notice that I bring up the scoreboard, and you'll notice this in a lot of my jungle videos. When I'm going in on someone, I always bring up the scoreboard, because I need to know how powerful they are compared to me, and what form of escapes do they have, what forms of sustain do they have. Now, the good thing about people that do this is that they aren't ever surprised, and they have perfect information 9 times out of 10. And if you have perfect information, you know what you're going to be doing and what should occur in the next 10 to 15 seconds in this gank. If you don't have perfect information, you're kind of like, well, okay, I'll throw a rock here and there and we'll just shoot, we'll fire our abilities, and okay, we'll hopefully get him, right? That's what most players will do. And, it's fine. Most players are just playing this game for fun. But when you're playing at competitive level, you want to know, what does this guy have? What am I going into? What are the odds of success with the cards he has, with the cards I have? How much farm does he have? How much has he spent? What abilities does he have? What level is he? All of these make a big difference. We've got Sam at level 5, which is a Twin Blast. We've got Red at level 4, so no ultimate there, which is pretty important on Aurora because it locks down the target if I choose to dash away and they miss the rock. We've got Gabe on the Rampage at level 4 as well. So if they dive me and he ends up taking aggro, he's not as tanky as he would like to be if he ganked at level 5, right? So them investing a lot into this is kind of risky. And it's something I told them. I was like, if you're going to gank, why don't you just wait till you're level 5? That way, you're not going to die. You have a free escape. You have a free engage with an easy rock, right? Because all he can do, he can press R, he can leap, he can rock me. Aurora can use her Q, her Hoarfrost. They can lock me down and maybe get us some good damage. Probably not going to kill me because I'm tanky, but nonetheless, there's the opportunity. And that, in my mind, is a better engagement than what happens here. So I get rooted by the Hoarfrost, the rock misses. So that's a lack of communication, right? Red might not have said, I'm going to rock here. And Gabe might have said, Red might have not said, I'm going to Hoarfrost. And Gabe said, I might rock here. It's just, that's communication. And that's just something you have to work on as a team. In general, I thought their communication was pretty good though, but just things like that, even in my team on Team Ignite, we didn't really call. It was difficult to get used to because you're just so used to playing solo queue. So you're not used to saying, okay, I'm going to queue here, then you rock, or I've got to rock, I'll rock first, etc. So my gadget is now rotating. Notice that a fight now is broken out. Gideon and Crunch have decided to engage. I'm not sure what Team Calamari's game plan is at this point because they've engaged onto me in the off lane in a 3v2 situation. Well, 3v1, eventually 3v2. And then Crunch and Gideon have engaged in a 3v2. And I don't think Crunch and Gideon are going to win against a Kwang, Drongo, and a Narbash. Even though a Narbash is only level 3, they Crunch is 6 and 7. Laz is level... That might be... I think that's a bug. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a bug. I don't think Laz is level... Or maybe he is level 4. Okay, either way, I don't think they're winning this engagement. So, let's see what happens. So, I immediately go on the Rampage because I'm like, well, I'm not saving this tower. He picks up a rock. He stuns me. We get the gadget Q. He dies. That's exactly what I was going to say was going to happen. And I'm not trying to sound like big-headed or anything, but I foresaw that happening as soon as I saw the Rampage level 4. That's why I went on him. I went on him because I knew he draws aggro, my gadget's coming, she lands an ability on him, he probably dies because he's going to tank at least 2 shots. Because he's a Rampage, right? You're not going to instantly jump out as a Rampage. You're going to be like, I'm a Rampage, I'll take 1 or 2 shots. That's how most Rampage players think. So we get a good kill there. And I'm like, okay, we got to pick, let's back off. Like, I can just farm this wave. You can go back to mid. Nothing really happened with that engagement on the left. But again, I think my team would have won it because they had a Narbash, a Drongo, Kwang. But now, their Rampage had to go back. Their Crunch had to go back from that engagement. They invested a lot to try and take this tower. And now my team are just going to get this tier 1 for free. Again, I just can farm the wave as I do because they can't really do much. I know their jungler had to go back. I know that Crunch and most likely Rampage are going to go left lane to try and save this tier 1. It was a nice rotation from the gadget as well. I think this is when they end up pushing the tier 2 pretty deep. So let's have a look here. They got the Rampage coming in because, like I said, he's going to go left to help him out. Because what can happen is you can take the tier 1. You can often use that to snowball into the tier 2. Now this is really bad for Team Calamari. Now, why is it bad? Well, you got a Rampage level 4 without ultimate, which is huge. His ultimate is huge. You got a Crunch level 7, half health. You got your gadget applying pressure in mid. You got me fine in the off lane, just farming jungle camps and the lanes all the way up at their tier 2. So now you're in a 3v2 situation trying to save your tier 2. What I would like to see happen here is I would like to see Aurora back off. You got a nice freeze on the tower. I really can't go on you unless I confident that I can dive you. But they should know that I have. Okay, they don't know for sure, but they must have an idea of my mana because of the previous fight we just had under the tier 1. Now, Aurora needs to back here to help these guys. I don't think we get the tier 2, but if we do, it's pretty bad for them because they really need your support here. Like, I would always, as an offlaner, call my support instantly if I saw them pushing the tier 2. And the fact that that doesn't happen is a big mistake. So they're just trying to clean the wave as quickly as possible. They do a good job, but then Ren decides to engage. And I don't know if this is the right move. That's a good rock by Rampage, but look, it's not enough. Narbash healing is pretty good. Now, Aurora is still here. You got one person defending your tier 2. He's not even level 5. That engage was completely unnecessary. Just hold your tier 2, chill under tower. This wave is pretty far, and I don't think it's a siege wave. I think it's just 3 melee in a range. Yeah. So, if we do get this tier 2, it's incredible in my mind that we managed to get this tier 2, because I'm like, well, they should have, well, where's the Aurora? Where's the Gideon? Where's the rotations? And they just seem to happen a bit too late. Okay, so we don't get the tower, but we got a lot of damage on it. Eventually, they do rotate. And that's kind of what I'm looking for. I'm looking for 3 people to defend this tier 2. I think it's fine. That's also the other play that you can do, and something that I really like is you send your mid laner to the off lane, because he can just, either he recalls, right, which is what they did in this case, but in that case I would send my support. But if you don't want to recall, your Gideon moves across, your Aurora moves across the mid lane if it's being pressured. Otherwise, you don't really need your Aurora to move across. But because the gadget was still there, it's fine. And immediately, what do you see me doing? You see me applying pressure to this Twin Blast, you know, making her think about what she needs to do. If I send a Twin Blast back, it's time they're missing out. To me, that's a win. If I don't get a kill, fine. But I send her back. She missed out on farm. And what you'll notice is that I can't show it, but there'll be points in this game where I have the most farm in the game. And that's simply because, not because I'm a better farmer than Sam or whatever you guys think. I don't even know. But the difference is that I'm forcing Sam to think about, should I be here farming this wave? Is it safe for me to farm this wave? I'm applying pressure to her. When you apply pressure, what happens? People make mistakes. That's all it's about. It's about forcing pressure, making someone a bit scared of you, a bit wary of you. When she knows that I can 1v1 her, she has to play a bit more passive. She's a bit afraid. You know, she's constantly thinking, oh shit, is he going to go on me? And that's when mistakes happen. So, if you're an offlaner, things to think about. Watch the map. Check how much pressure your team are applying. If your team are applying a lot of pressure and the support's gone, well then fine. Here, I decided to do some jungle, I think. Or maybe that was another game. I checked the jungle, and then I'm like, okay, well, maybe I can give Sam something to think about. She stepped forward. They don't really get much from it, but, you know, I'm keeping Sam on her toes. Like, well, you better be careful because I'm definitely coming for you. And that's the kind of thing you want to strike as an offlaner. Whereas a lot of offlaners, I think they can play quite passive. And I used to be a lot of quite passive. I will admit that. I did play quite passive, and I wasn't striking fear to enemy carries. I'd go against people like Cameron, Nim, and I'd be like, man, these guys are good. And I'm like, I'm nowhere near as good. Even though I like to joke in my videos. Alright, let's talk about this first, actually, before we go. Let me just finish. So, even though I like to joke in my videos about how an amazing player, I don't actually think that. Although, some people don't get the joke. I was scared to go up against people like Nim and Cameron because they're really good players. But, what I realized is, you just gotta go for it. Be aggressive. You die, you learn from your mistakes. But, if you just sit back, play passive, never die, you don't really learn much. So just go ham, die a few times, learn from your mistakes, and you'll improve. Now, I just want to talk about this Aurora ult. I'm thinking here, okay, firstly, they think they've caught me out of position. They don't realize how tanky I actually am, so they're not going to get any value out of this Aurora ultimate. I immediately pop my shield to absorb most of the Aurora ultimate and damage when I get frozen. Also, let's have a look at the man on the Twin Blast. Not much man on Twin Blast. Yes, he's mostly a basic attack damage, but you know, you can't spam those grenades as much as you would hope. So I don't really know too much about this engagement. Maybe if the Rampage was here, okay, I could see it. But I don't really think they're going to get much value. The Hoarfrost misses, that they did a total of like 400 damage to me. And now, regardless of whether you think this game is balanced or not, that should still affect your decision making, right? So just something to think about. That ultimate in my mind is a bit of a waste, but okay. Now Aurora ultimate is down for a really long time. The cooldown is pretty long. They can't use it in team fights. Again, they're applying pressure mid, but good rotations from my Narbash is always there. Laz is always helping out the mid laner, which is nice to see. We've got Bram and Crunch going at it. Now let's just rewind, because I believe what Ren is trying to do is do what I did, right? But let's see how it works out for him. And, you know, you're not going to win every engagement. So let's see. Like, in my mind, Crunch wins this 1v1 easy, but I don't know if Ren tower dives. So he's got the same build as me, unless that's a bug. There, nice. This needs to be a knockup. Nice. Okay, so basically Bram gets away because of his ultimate. But Ren's given him something to think about. Ren striked fear into him. We got the Gideon rotating. It's a bit late because, you know, he's not going to get the Q off. And Bram's pretty far back. So that was good. That was great from their Crunch. You guys might think, well, he didn't get the kill. He's half health. He has to go back. But it's a good trade in my opinion. He strikes some fear into Bram. Bram now has to make a decision next time in lane. Am I going to be confident to 1v1 this guy? He did a lot of damage. So things to think about. But in the meantime, the Gideon rotated for this. My team recognized that. We apply pressure at mid. Again, Sam's gone back. I apply pressure in the off lane. The Rampage coming across. Aurora Twin Blast going back to lane. And we know their Crunch has to go back, as well as our Drongo. So when you feel pressure on one side of the map, the idea is to apply pressure on the other sides. We've got Rampage coming in here. Good rock. Manages to get some damage and force the retreat. But, you know, are they going to get much from this? I don't think so. Good damage on the Rampage. I rotate over here. Now, I just want to talk about this. This is a good rotation from their team. They recognize the danger that their mid lane was in. The problem is that the Rampage engaged so early that the Aurora, Gideon, and Crunch couldn't follow up. So I'm just going to go back here to the Rampage. Just speed this up a bit. Have you got him coming in? Now, okay. I'm just going to pause it when the rock goes off. Here. Okay, he throws the rock. And look where his Gideon is. Look where your Crunch is. And look where your Aurora is. They're so far away that you can't follow up with anything. You've used your only ability that allows you to close into people apart from your ult and leap, but then you've also invested a lot at that point, and your rock's still on cooldown, and you barely have any mana, so you've thrown one rock. If you ult and leap, you don't have another rock. Sorry. So basically, you just want to think about these engagements. Is it worth your tower taking 2 or 3 more shots from them and then securing 2 kills? Maybe, probably. If the tower's healthy like this, why not? It's still going to die in 2 or 3 shots. If it was a tier 2 with 1 or 2 shots left and your rock throw could save the tier 2, hell yeah, that's great. Do it. I'm not telling you not to do that. But tier 1, 75% health, 2 minions on the tower. You can clearly see that because it shows you in game. You've got another wave coming. It's a siege wave, but it's not here yet. Siege wave probably gets on the tower if you delay your engage, but you pick up 2 kills, clean the siege wave up, you get free mid tower. Look how low our mid tower is as well. If we just show you this, it's pretty low. You would probably get a free tier 1 here and 2 kills. Maybe you could snowball that into a tier 2 at 10 minutes. So just see how as one tiny thing, and it's not even a mistake by Gaben. Like, it's just one decision changes the whole outcome of the game or outcome of the next 2-3 minutes, right? So anyways, you guys know what happens. They my team managed to disengage. At this point, I'm like, okay, well, the wave's pushed up. I don't know if I can get Sam because I'm low mana. I'm going to grab a river buff. The Rampage is really low. Now, one thing I noticed about a lot of players sorry, just grabbing some water, is that people are just in general greedy. I'm greedy, you're greedy, the next guy is greedy, my neighbor's greedy. Everyone is greedy in this game. And for better or worse, right? Sometimes it does pay off. Greed with picking up Profiteer. I'm greedy when I stay in lane on low health. I'm greedy when I lazy back. But I'm pretty confident that this Rampage is going to go do his jungle and it pays off. I'm like, okay, well, let me just chill here. I'm waiting for my mana to get up. I know the cost of my abilities, so I know I need to have my E, my right mouse button. Also, I use my dash there for the bonus damage. And you'll see I waited the perfect amount of time to use my Q, E, and R. And now that comes down to you knowing your mana cost. If you know your mana cost on your hero, and you know that, okay, I need X mana to be able to use my Q, E, R, then do it. If I use my Q and E, and I was like, oh shit, I don't have mana for my ult, he would have gotten away. So, you know, if you're in stealth, take the extra few seconds to calculate if you don't know. I know because I play Feng Mao a lot. But if you don't know, press control. Look at the costs, add them up, say, do I have enough to use my entire combo on this Rampage? Or, if I wait maybe a few seconds, do I get my entire combo off? Obviously, I had to do it before the green buff came up. But it's just things to think about. We get another pick on the Rampage. I'm 2-0-1, 57 farm. Pretty good. If we look at how much farm Sam is at, 68. I'm only 11 farm behind. Only 11 farm behind, pretty good. Crunch is also only like 11 farm behind. I believe Bram is 64. So as both offlaners are farming pretty well in my opinion. Now you got Sam here, not being able to do much. She can't farm the wave, she's pushed it up. Here, I would go farm jungle. I don't think it's that big of a deal. That's what she's going to do. I believe Profiteer doesn't work on jungle. She doesn't have it anymore, but I'm just saying in general, I don't think Profiteer works on the jungle. Now, one thing I would say is that getting heavy hitter without a nitro boost into a Feng Mao, someone that's always looking to engage on you, is a very risky play. So maybe just going for what you can do is you can get Guard Piercer and nitro boost, which also adds up to 8, which I'm pretty sure Sam has because she went for heavy hitter. So what you can do is you get Guard Piercer, gives you good amount of damage. Yes, not as much as heavy hitter, nitro boost, but it increases your survivability, right? Feng Mao dashes on you, you can run away because once he's used the dash, he can't really catch up to you. So just you know, things to think about. Going heavy hitter is super greedy in my eyes, especially when you're against an offlaner that's, you know, as aggressive as I can be. So now I've picked up my Vital Waters, Possessed Spriken. I've still kept my Cult because I don't have enough points to get Green Spring, but I'm eventually going to go into Withering, I believe. Gideon's done a good job of poking out our gadget. I think he gets the kill here. Yeah, he does. Okay, so now they get the kill. Laz is going to rotate to try and stop mid. Rampage should rotate to come and help Gideon take this tower. I don't know if Gideon gets it for free, but I would like to see that rotate. Now, why am I saying this? Because, well, Gideon picks up mid lane. Gideon, Rampage, Aurora, Twin Blast come to kill me. Simple, right? But what actually happens is something different, I believe. Can't remember exactly, but I think Rampage, he goes mid and then Narbash rotates as well. Let's just see how this plays out. I really want to see them just take this tower. Okay, they do. Okay, no, they don't. They let the minions go under, but they don't take the tower because Gideon got a stealth. Okay, so what they've done is they've gone and picked up a stealth buff. They've let the minions go on the tower when they should have got a free mid lane tower, right? That stealth buff is going nowhere. We don't have any map pressure. Our Narbash and Rongo on the left side of the map, this stealth buff is always going to be there. You have good vision over it. Your Rampage is here. Your Gideon is here. I would like to see them take mid lane, get a tier 1 in mid, you know, open up the map for yourselves, then rotate to right lane, grab that stealth buff, kill me as 4 people. Right now you're fighting me as 3 when you could easily get 4. And at 2 towers, 1 kill sounds way better than what actually happens. They get 1 tower, they don't get a kill, and it's only the offlane tower that they get. I feel like getting mid lane tower opens up the map so much more. It's really, really good. It's not, look, it might sound negative. It's not the worst trade in the world. They still got a tower, but, you know, why take just a little when you can take a lot, right? So there's a little engagement that happens here. Narbash gets a bit caught out, like he was trying to rotate across. Our carry's on his way, but their crunch is all the way back here. This is about to be a 5v4 in our favor. So let's see how this unfolds. Our team decides to re-engage. We've got a nice gadget ult. A good slow. I go in here. Rampage dies. A nice Aurora ult. But again, the Aurora's ulted. Look where her team are. Look where the Twin Blast is. Look where the Gideon is. Where's your follow-up? There's no follow-up on this Aurora ult. She might have ulted to escape, but I don't really know what the decision here is, because your Rampage is caught. Just cut your losses. I'm pretty sure we should pick up Aurora here as well. And, you know, the thing is, when you Aurora ult, unless you're ahead, you're really looking for your team to follow up on that. There's no follow-up. It's kind of rough. You see how much damage that did to me? Like 100 damage. Nice rotate from Bam catching her out. We pick off the kill on the Aurora. I chase the Gideon a bit because I feel like we can get him. But I force his TP. He has no mana. This is a free mid lane tower. And I'm just chilling here because I'm like, okay, well, maybe we just get the tier 2. I might catch the next wave here. Try and get the tier 2. Hasn't spawned yet. Take the tower. But if you can try and get the next wave, try to do that, because then you can just catch it, kill it, and then you can immediately, your minions aren't delayed. You just go straight into the tier 2. My job here is just to focus the tier 2. Try and take it down. I think we lose Laz here, but losing one person for a tier 2 is a perfectly fine trade for me, as long as only one of us die. I think Gadget might die as well. Yeah, it looks like it. Okay, so Jesus, holy shit! Somehow Gadget gets out. So we got 2 kills. We got Aurora Rampage. We used that to get a mid lane tower and a tier 2. We only lost Kwang. Brilliant trade in my opinion. And my waves at my tower, free farm for me. They do get mid lane here, I think, but that's like, I'm happy to lose mid lane tower for what we just got. None of us can really defend it, so we back off. But I like this play from them. They were like, okay, we lost mid lane. We need to get something back. Let's at least get this tier 1. Let's open up the map again. So I like this play from them. There's no way they can push this tier 2 at this point, in my opinion. Maybe fall back, get your carry, let your carry do Raptors. I don't think Raptors doing as a team objective is worth. One person, maybe one in the support, then it's worth. So Crunch is in mid, Gideon's gone left. I believe that's just because one of them had to back. Now I've hit a decent power spike. I've got 43.2 health regen. I can literally go in 1v3, 1v4 and feel fine. The only person I wouldn't really want to go into is Crunch, because he does a lot of damage and his CC is pretty nice. So here, I don't even care that Rampage and Aurora here. So what you're going to see, I could have backed up. I'm just going for Twin Blast. Everything I'm doing is Twin Blast. I'm not taking that much damage. Like, just trying to kill her. I guess the Twin Blast is worth. I actually didn't realize I got rooted there when I E'd. Got the Twin Blast. I can still kill these guys. My Gadget makes a nice rotation. Going for Aurora here. She's pretty low, but replay bug. I pick up 2 kills. Enemy double kill. Confident that I can 1v3 with my health regen. The crazy thing about this is that these health regen cards, this one actually gives you basic armor, so they don't really do much damage. And I'm thinking like, okay, who am I going against? I'm going against an Aurora, but she's level 6, so she barely does anything to me. I'm 7 levels above her. And that's like not a big deal. My Narbash is also 7 levels behind me. That's just off-lane things. And I'm thinking, okay, well, Twin Blast, he's only basicing me. Rampage, he lands a rock, then it's all basics. So I'm like, okay, 1v3, I don't care, we can go. I've already had 3 kills before this fight, 2 assists and 84 farm. So to me, I was like, you know, let's do it. Go in here on Gideon. I believe we should get the kill here with a gadget Q or something. Okay, no, Laz gets the kill. So you see here how like setting yourself up for the long game as an offlaner, it just pays off so much in 42 because I hit that power spike where all my cards here are health regen. I've got Green Spring, out of combat health regen, but it gives me basic armor. Fantastic pickup. Possessed Spriken, curse card, so it doesn't scale well late game, but health regen early game sets me up for a strong late game. Vital Waters amplifies the healing on the cursed Possessed Spriken, great card. So I was pretty tanky, 1v3, not a problem for me. Nice rotation from the gadget, allowed us to secure a lot of kills. I think we got 4 kills from that, so we almost had a team wipe. My team, in the meanwhile, get a tier 2, great trade. That's kind of what I want from them if I'm going to fight 1v3, 2v3 when the gadget rotates and pick off those kills. I kind of expect my team to at least get a tier 2. I don't expect them to get an inhib 16 minutes into the game when respawn timers are pretty low. And we kind of got their deaths, like they didn't 3 die at once, right? They kind of like separated their deaths. So Aurora's already respawned, Twin Blast is already back. But it's given us a nice lead. 110 farm on Bram, 99 on theirs, and 90 on me. So only 9 behind, but I've got 5 kills. Pretty far ahead. I'm just trying to build into my Withering. I like Withering a lot, in case you guys didn't know. So that's another tier 2, opening up the map a lot. I think they come to check Orb here. Yeah, they do check Orb. I would like to see them ward it. I would like to see, you know, them put Vision onto Orb. I would also like to see them maybe go for Orb eventually if they get a couple picks. I'd like that. Anyways, I know they're all grouped up because they're on this ward. I saw Twin Blast show left. I can see Crunch in mid. So I just take this tier 1, open up the map even more. My team just recalling, resetting after that engagement. You notice that I don't have to go back almost ever until I need pause. And that's because I have great sustain with health regen. I also have mana reactor. So whenever I take damage, I'm getting mana back. Alright, so here I just decided to do Raptors. I'm like, well, why not? The lane's pushed. I'm not going to get much. All our lanes are pushed, so me, Gadget, Kwang, decided to just burn it real quick. Like I said, it's not really worth it doing it as 4 people, but like our lanes are pushed. I didn't really see much better. Maybe I could have done jungle as well. I actually don't really like doing jungle as the offlane. I like leaving it for the jungler. Okay, we've got a nice rotation. I think they're trying to group up to take this tier 1. They've set right lane, I believe, and they also set mid before they did rotate. So I like to see that people are setting the lanes. But the question is, can they get anything from it? Are Kwang and Gadget already rotating? Aurora's pretty low already. They Gideon here and they back off. So they don't get much from this engagement. I make my way over as well, just in case. I would have liked to see the Rampage just come out the fog and go in to dive the tower, and then the Aurora dive in, get an ultimate off. They would have cleaned 2 kills easy in my opinion, but that wasn't the case. Crunch is here in mid lane, go for the river buff. I have a stealth buff, and then a big team fight breaks out over here. So I'm gonna just watch what happens in the team fight. We've got Crunch pretty low. I spot the Crunch and I'm like, okay, well, he's okay now. So in my mind, I'm like, Crunch is super tanky. I'm probably not going to get this kill, but what I can do is I can force, like right now, the Crunch is probably thinking, I don't really need to go back. You know, I'm not certain I need to go back because I know he has Possessed Spriken and I know his health regen cards because I checked. So he's thinking here, I've got good amount of mana. If I just buy myself 5, maybe 10 seconds max, or even 5 seconds most, I can go back in this fight. I can knock the carry up. We can maybe chain CC and get a kill. But to me, I can't let that happen. Like, I can't let that offlaner get that in his head. So I'm like, well, okay, I've got a stealth buff. I could use it to go on the carry. I could use it to go on Twin Blast. I could go on Aurora, or I could go on Gideon. But I'm like, no. If I get this Crunch out of this fight and I force him to back, I might kill him. I probably won't. I know his health. I'm probably not going to kill him. But if I can force him to go back, then I can force my team to fight 4v5 without their Crunch. It's huge. It's huge. So this is what happens. I engage on the Crunch. He dashes away. Now he's so low. I force him. I chased him for a bit and I'm like, maybe he comes up across, but he doesn't. Then I head straight back to the fight. My team already picked the Gideon, so I'm like, fine. I'm going to cut Twin Blast off here. She doesn't know what happened. Catch her here. You get the Aurora here. This crunch basically hasn't been a factor in the fight. Okay, the Aurora gets out, but you can see that. Okay, now look at the crunch's health. Look, he regened. He was like there. He regened that much in that space of time. He was like, okay, he was like there, right? Because his auto shield pop, I believe. So think about it. If I had let that crunch go into the fight, he would have had a lot more health than he has now, and he would have been a big factor. So that's why I did what I did. We get a good pick here, and at this point, I'm like, let's go do orb. This is basically free orb. I'm like, catch the wave, let's go do orb. 3 people dead, 20 seconds. Pretty good. Aurora, only level 6, not really a threat. We got good vision, we can see them if they come. By the time they get here, it's not going to be a problem. They have to worry about left lane as well. I sent Gadget mid. I was like, Gadget, just push mid. We don't really need you. And then I want you to go catch this wave here. So that's what she goes and does. Grab orb. Crunch here. Immediately turns around. That's good. What I often see is people dive into the pit, try and be a hero. Don't be a hero. Heroes often don't win games. Like, going 1v3, not a good idea. You'll notice my team have to back. I don't really ever back often in this game anymore because of this build. It's so much sustain. Only back if I need to grab a card, like I said. So I'm just going to grab some farm. Wait for my team. I told Bram to grab green because if Crunch jumps on you, he's probably going to kill you if my team don't heal. So if Narbash doesn't land a thunk. And so now I'm thinking, what is our plan here? I'm thinking, do I want to group up as 5 or do I want to push separately? I'm thinking to myself, I'm pretty far ahead. I think I want to push separately. I'm trying to catch some guys in mid, but no real follow-up. They also have a slow card, I believe, so I wasn't able to catch up. Rampage comes from behind, but not that great. So we push mid as 5, and what you'll see is eventually I'll go off. Because it just becomes this little stalemate where they clean the wave, and because they have a Rampage, Gideon, and Crunch, it makes it really difficult to engage, and this Aurora is looking for her ultimate. What happens is, Crunch dives in, or Rampage rocks, Crunch dives in, knock up, Q, our carry's dead, our gadget's dead. So, gotta be a bit careful about these engagements. So if you can apply pressure elsewhere on the map, like you see us do, it's better. I try and get our gadget to just poke. Like, try and get your casters to poke so that someone might have to go back. So I give it a few seconds and I'm like, well, I don't think anything's happening here. I'm gonna go left. Just chill, play it safe, buy me time. Because what most teams will often do is they're like, okay, Feng Mao's going left. Either we just go in now, or we try and play the 1v1, 4v4 game, which is what they end up doing, I believe. So I would like to see them engage on us right here. This is their best chance without me, who's furthest ahead in this game, because I have 7 kills. Anyways, I just clear this tower. Not much going on here, but my team, I think my team managed to get the inhib without me. But look, good poke from the gadget. Aurora, half health. Crunch, she's lost a chunk. Got the Q on the Gideon. Not sure why that Gideon doesn't have spell block. Or maybe it's pop. He's almost down to half health. I'm pushing the inhib. So, I push the inhib here. I just ignore Crunch. I'm so far ahead. My team get the inhib in mid. Crunch is pretty low. We lost 2. Should be able to pick up Crunch here. Yep, he's dead with the Q. Okay, so I showed that perspective. I want to show what happens in the main team fight. Because 3 of my allies died, I believe. So the gadget rotated, but I'm not really sure if she rotated after or before the inhib was down. After the inhib down, fine. That's a perfectly good rotation. Before, I'm not so sure she needs to rotate. I'm pretty far ahead, and I think like we can just win that. I can win that 1v1. This is what happens. The Ram goes in. Narbash. Okay, so Narbash tried to block the rock there. I like that from Narbash because that would allow Bram to use his ult, silence, and maybe escape. But what you saw happen is what I said I didn't want to happen when we were engaging as 5 on the inhib. That Rampage rock into any sort of follow-up. Yeah. Like, even though we're pretty far ahead at this point, I would say, you're still going to take a lot of damage to that combination. So, you got to be careful. And the fact that the gadget is here, I don't like that. What I would have liked to have seen, as we go back 10 seconds, is the gadget stays here. I'm going to put this in drone. Is the gadget stays in mid. When they engage, I want the Tesla Dome. I want the Tesla Dome to go over here. Because you got a squishy Aurora, you got a squishy Gideon. You're using your ultimate on a crunch. I would like to see that here. Put the Tesla Dome down here. Get a kill. Pretty sure you killed the Gideon here if you put the Tesla Dome down. You get good damage. The Rampage probably dies. Look how low these guys are. This is probably a guaranteed kill. You zone the Twin Blast out with your ultimate. He has to think about his positioning, and maybe he doesn't get that many shots off. So I would have liked to have seen the gadget over. Obviously, hindsight is a brilliant thing, but I would have liked to have seen the gadget here. Naz dies here because it's 4v1, so. But we get 2 inhibs, right? Obviously, I'm picking out the negatives more than the positives because that's how you learn. Here, I'm like, alright, you want to go? We fight. I can take them 1v4, personally, I think. So, I'm not really too worried because of my health regen. I'm confident in my build. But, you know, I don't think a carry is ever going to be able to take them 1v4 unless it's super fed and super late game. Anyway, so a bit of mistakes happens here, a bit of miscommunication. I'm like, I don't want to back ever. Like, I should just always apply pressure because I'm so far ahead. I'm a tanky hero. What I want is my gadget to go back, right? Like, gadget's a squishy. She can't 1v3, she can't 1v4. I can do that. I can push mid. I can apply pressure on the Twin Blast. What ends up happening is I'm like, okay, I'll go back. And the gadget's like, no. What happens is I tell the gadget to go back and go for the tier 2. And then I'm like, okay, I'll go back as well then. But then I cancel my back and gadget also cancels her back because there's 3 people in mid. But I'm thinking to myself, and I'm not blaming the gadget. It's partly my fault as well. It's miscommunication on my half. But what I'm thinking here in general is if you're a mid laner and your off laner is a tanky fighter, just go back. Like, your offlaner is doing offlaner things and being that nuisance on the map. You just clear the wave, right? I don't really have that great wave clear. So you just go back and then, you know, let your offlaner do offlaner things. But I will say, hands up, it was probably my fault, miscommunication from me. So it's no big deal. But something for you guys to think about. We lose a tier 2, but yeah, tier 2, we've got 2 inhibs. I'm not really concerned. Chilling in mid. Thinking about should I go on the carry, then I see Crunch appear and Rampage. I'm like, no. Now it's just us regrouping, going back health, mana. I think I grab Withering here. Oh, I do the Raptors while I wait for my team to just... I think someone in my team needed a little bit more farm for a card, so we're like, we'll wait for it, and then we'll go as 5 on the final lane to push the inhib down. So I think I cleaned Raptors here just to get the Withering Shadow, my favorite card in the game at the moment. It's fine what they're doing, clearing jungle camps. I would have liked to see a bit more vision maybe this side, just so your carry doesn't get killed. But clearing your waves, you're trying to set your waves as best as possible. I like that. Not much you can do in this position, honestly, in this game. Maybe you have Emmerich, I don't know. That's always a possibility for a comeback, so I'd have liked maybe to see that. I have that in my deck just in case, you never know. Okay, so now the plan here is I'm telling my team, we go back. I'm going to push one of these lanes because I can win a 1v1, and then we're going to go left. Or we're going to go right from our perspective. But you guys get what I mean. Withering, great for wave clearing, so just going to speed this up a bit. Clear a camp for no reason there to waste the time. Grab the gold though, but that's always worth, I think. Go left here, and so you'll notice what I do here. I shove the wave, my team pushing. I've always beat the Gideon. Withering pop spell shield, by the way, so you want to just group up. For some reason my basic attacks don't work. Okay, so now I'm like, alright, the two people are here. This is your time to engage. My team engaged. They missed the rock on Bram. Probably would have been another kill. Aurora ult goes off. She ulted a gadget who has spell block. So that doesn't really work out well for her. Oh, the Gideon popped the spell block. That's nice. That's a good play. But what happened in this time? What happened in the back line while they were going for our carry? Let's watch what happens when they engage. So clearing the wave, they invest a lot in trying to kill my carry. But what happens to their back line, to their carry? Who they really need to keep alive, honestly. Crunch is there trying to clean the wave. Lads going straight for their carry. I come in, cheeky steal the kill, because why not? I'm looking for red here, see if she comes back up. Okay, no. Clear the wave, push the core. Catch a Gideon here. I think I get it with Withering. Yeah, I get it with Withering. Overshoot my dash here, but I still get the kill. With Withering again. Great damage, kill securing. And basically that's the game. I know quite a lot of it was from my perspective. So, you can have a look at that. Bram dies to the core for some reason. But I know a lot of it was from my perspective. I tried not to be, but like, I also want to improve myself. So I like to see a lot of things that I did wrong. So, okay, there was a few mistakes that I made. Mostly communication-wise. The gadget mistake can't really happen in games at this level, honestly. Because say we didn't have inhib, say we were just trying to back. It's a tier 2 loss for free. I think my farm was decent. I think the core for orb was pretty good. I think everyone played pretty well. Main things for the enemy team, Team Calamari, what I would like to see, you know, think about your timings a bit more. Think about, I'm not level 4, I need to be level 5, I need to gank. Crunch, dive straight onto the carry. Look for those abilities, look for those key abilities to be used. Look for the gadget Q to be down. Look for the stun to be down from Narbash, then engage. I like the Aurora ults, cancelling the Narbash ult. I like that. That was pretty nice. I would like to see more engaging onto the carry. Like, dive onto our carry. Make us think about, should we push this 4v5? You know, it's... I never fault people for missing abilities because that happens. But, you know, try to combo Crunch knock-up into a Rampage Rock, right? Because you can't really miss a Crunch knock-up because it's a melee ability. So why not use Crunch to engage and then use the Rampage Rock to follow up, chain your CC, guarantee a kill on our carry, on our Narbash, on our gadget. Probably not going to guarantee a kill on me or Laz because just how fighters are pretty tanky. But, you know, when you do these things and when you get a pick or two, you make the rest of the team think about their next decision. Like, okay, well, you know, we have to back off. We have to play a bit passive here. But, you know, take nothing away from Team Calamari. Great team. Like I said, they won their first game. They did play really well. Second game, they didn't play as well as their first game. So I know they can do a lot better. And I'm not trying to put them down. I'm just saying the draft was decent. I like the Crunch offlane pick, honestly. They giving us Kwang and Feng was a big mistake from them. And if I do a game 3, you'll see a different draft. The Aurora pick, I think, again, it was a decent pick. They did get, like, you saw when they comboed everything perfectly, how I wanted them to combo in mid lane. They got 3 kills. Yeah, they got 3 kills. That's what I want to see more of, but they left it kind of late, right? The Rampage Rock was perfect on the carry. The Aurora ult was perfect on the Narbash cancelling his ult. The Gideon ult was perfect following up, right? That's what I would have liked to see. If they do that earlier in the game, they snowball that lead, and I think that's great. So, a really good game. I learned a lot. I hope you guys learned a lot as well. And this probably is a really long video. I have no idea how long I've been rambling on. But if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. I'll take any questions. And yeah, smash that thumbs up button if you enjoyed this analysis. Obviously, first time I've ever done anything like this. So if you do enjoy it, I probably will continue. If you don't enjoy it, then I won't continue it. But yeah, smash that thumbs up button. If you enjoyed, subscribe for all the latest Paragon content. And until next time, guys, peace.